Hello everybody and welcome back. So today I'm filming a part 2 of a video I posted earlier this year, which was drugstore products that feel high-end to me, and this is a continuation because I didn't want to repeat any products, so these are all new since that point of posting that video. With the products I'm going to be talking about today, these just feel just as good or even perform better than a lot of higher end products, and overall they just feel very special to my collection. So before we get into this little edit, I would love for you to subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get started. I'm going to be going in order of application. Although I don't have a product in each category, I feel like this just makes the most sense. So I'm going to start off with this guy right here. This is the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter, and I feel like this revolutionized my makeup routine ever since it's come into my collection. It's been here for such a short time, but I've used it so much just because you can use this in so many different ways, and I recently figured out another use for it. Although I do have quite a few other glow boosters, I find that I reach for this more just because of its applicator, and I love how this is a cheaper alternative to the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, and it doesn't break me out. So this has just been such an exciting addition to my collection. This little wand applicator makes me reach for this one more so than the other glow boosters I have in my collection. I think just because it's fun to spot apply this, especially on the high points. Now you can use this underneath your foundation, you can use it as your foundation, you can mix it in with your foundation to make it more glowy, you can use it as your highlighter. And one of my new favorite uses with this is mixing it in with a matte liquid blush, most oftenly the Rare Beauty ones, and it just makes them a lot more manageable, a little bit lighter, and obviously a lot more glowy, and it's just such a gorgeous look. It gives a very similar effect to the Charlotte Tilbury Glowgasm blush wands. Very similar effect to that, but then you can customize it a little bit more to your tastes. So this has been such an exciting addition to my collection. Got so excited about it, I didn't swatch it. So I'm swatching it twice just so you can see what it looks like a little bit more full on and blend it out. So this is the shade 2. So this is what it would look like all over your skin, and this is what it looks like in a thicker swatch. I also have the shades 3 and 4. Let me grab those quick. And here we are. These are the 3 I have. So 2, 3, and 4. Next up, I have a concealer, and this is by NYX. It's the Bear With Me Concealer Serum. This is revolutionary for my under eyes as well as my face. I oftenly use this to spot correct around my face, and it does a wonderful job. Although it does have kind of like a serumy texture, it doesn't bring attention to those areas. And I specifically like to spot correct my dry patches with this if I'm experiencing any of that, just because it tends to hydrate that area and it doesn't like cling onto any of the dry skin. But under the eyes, it's very, very reminiscent of the Kosas Cloud, no, not the Kosas Cloud Set, the Kosas Revealer Concealer, but it doesn't smell like blue cheese after like a couple months. The one thing I would change about this is the packaging. I don't enjoy like squirting some of it out. I wish it did have like a doe foot applicator, but I guess for hygienic reasons this is pretty awesome, and for makeup artists it's also really great just to squirt it out onto a palette. But this is just incredible. It's very hydrating feeling, but it doesn't crease. It's very flattering under the eyes. It really makes your under eyes look hydrated and youthful and perfectly corrected. It feels like a thinner gel texture, but it has a lot of coverage in it. I use the shade Beige, but I could go a shade lighter, but it still works. It's just not a super brightening shade for my skin tone. So for shade twins, this is a good option for you. I now have 2 powders to talk about. This next one is obviously the e.l.f. Prime and Stay powder. It's incredible. This is one of my top 5 makeup finds of the year. It's incredible. If you like setting powders, let me grab them. Similar to these right here, the Kosas Cloud Set, the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish, or the LYS Triple Fix, you will get along with this so well. And I would argue that this one is even more blurring than all of the above I just mentioned. It's slightly different than the Kosas because this one does have a little bit of a pearlescent sheen to it. This one is just completely matte, but it's just as blurring as the Cloud Set. This is incredible under the eyes, all over the face. I've raved about this so much this year, and it's only like $4. It does so much for that little amount of money. Although it seems kind of like a smaller package, I use this nearly every day and I finally have a significant dent in it. It looks great on every foundation I've tried it with, as well as every concealer. And this is also a great powder to blot with or fix your makeup with because it is a little tinted. So if you add too much blush or add too much highlighter or anything like that, adding a sheer veil of this will kind of correct that and soften that up for you. And same with eyeshadow. If your eyeshadow blend isn't looking as soft as you would like, just adding a little layer of this will help diffuse it even further. Incredible stuff. And I have a translucent powder here as well. This is the Wet n Wild Bare Focus Clarifying Finishing Powder. Now I've been kind of testing this out on the side compared to the Annabelle Perfect Matte Powder, and I actually prefer this one. I find it to be softer, like a finer finish, and I find that it blurs a little bit more, so I'm always going to go for the more blurring option. I find that the effect isn't as long wearing as the Pat McGrath one, but it's still pretty good. And this is another powder that's fantastic under the eyes as well as all over the face. Next up, I have a bronzer slash contour slash highlighting combo. These are the NYX Wonder Sticks. These are wonderful. They're very reminiscent of the Fenty Beauty Match Sticks. The contour side feels very similar, same with the highlighting side. They have that same consistency. It's very matte, but they blend out beautifully and they don't like stick down. They're not that kind of a matte. They also really grip down to whatever you have underneath, so it's going to stay all day, and I just love its ease of use. I really enjoy how tiny the little sticks are because it's a really fun experience to carve out your cheekbone. Like, you can feel it as you're applying it and you can really follow it. And same with the highlighting side. It's really fun to get that precise application of highlight just because when you are highlighting, those areas aren't huge. So it's just fun to be a little dainty with it. Every day that I do my makeup and I see these, I reach for them. These have quickly become big favorites of mine. I just quickly swatched both sticks I use. So this one right here, which is the perfect contour shade for me where I'm at right now with my skin tone, and that is the shade Fair. So Fair, the contour side and the highlighting side. And then we have Universal Light here, which really reminds me of Fenty Amber Suede, and this one reminds me of Fenty Amber. It's just a little bit lighter in comparison, and the highlights are just gorgeous. And they have great blending time as well, so you can kind of sketch on your face and it won't dry down by the time you're doing your last swipe. You have that blending time and that work time. This is them blended out a little bit. I didn't want to mix them all together, but hopefully you can get a better indication of their undertones and the sheen, especially with the highlighter there. Phenomenal. Next up, I have some liquid highlighters that I'm completely in love with. I was so excited to find these. I've always been really picky when it came to highlighters. I have a lot of boxes that need to be filled, and these ones fill all of them. And these are the Burt's Bees, the Luminizers. I use two shades. I like to mix the two colors to get my perfect kind of champagne gold. I use the shades Golden Hour and Starlight. So this is Golden Hour and this is Starlight in the middle. They're mixed together. And that's what I'm wearing today. It has a very serum-like texture initially, and it has such a fine pearlescence. It just sinks into your base so wonderfully. It doesn't pick up your foundation at all. It doesn't disturb anything that's underneath of it. You can even apply this on top of powder like I did today, and it doesn't disturb anything. They're powerful. They can be built up to a more full glam look or a very, very natural kind of glossy look. For how dewy and glossy they look, they actually have great longevity because they do end up setting, and it does not feel sticky or tacky whatsoever. I'll do the hair test. See, like it stuck to my gloss there, but if I whack my face, it doesn't hit there. It's just getting stuck in my gloss. I haven't done the hair test in a long time. But yeah, it does not stick to your cheeks whatsoever, although it looks like it should. So, magic. Now let's move on to the eye category, and I first want to start off by talking about these. These are the e.l.f. No Budge Cream Eyeshadows. I am so grateful for these for so many reasons. First of all, they have some really fun colors as well as some really nice neutrals, and these can do everything you want them to. They can blend out just like a powder eyeshadow would. You can use them as liners or bases or whatever you want to do with them. They can do it, and they do it flawlessly. I am so happy to have these because in one of my recent declutters, I had to get rid of my Tarte Clay Pot liners, which I love to build like funky looks with, and I had to get rid of them just because they were like 5 years old, but these have since filled that void for me. and I actually like this performance better. It almost feels like a mixture of those clay pot liners and the Melt Cosmetics Ultra Matte Gel Liners that I'm so in love with. It has that same crazy pigmentation, that matte finish, and that kind of whipped texture. This one's a bit stiffer in comparison to the Melt one. The Melt stuff is like magic. It's so soft and wet feeling in the pot, but then it dries so matte and it glides onto your eye so nicely. This has the same glideability. Is that a word? If not, there you go. I created a fun, intricate look using these two shades yesterday, and you'll see that in the product try-ons, but they can do it all depending on what techniques you use. I have another fun product for the eyeballs here. This is what I created all of these fun shimmery liners with today on my eyes. I love my eye look today, but it's the NYX Ultimate Glow Shots. I have been enthralled with these. There's a green one out there. I went to the drugstore today, it wasn't there, but I'm on a hunt for that green one. I think it's going to be stunning. But these are all of the colors I have right now. The two that I use the most are Golden Goji and Come Through Coconut, but the shades I use today are Clementine Fine and Wow Cacao. Now these are amazing because they can be used as eyeliners like so today, or you can blend them out and they'll look like the most beautiful glittery top coat. And you can also use them as kind of like a classic metallic. You can use them in so many different ways, but they have impressed me to the core of my being. Another thing that I'm completely in love with is the applicator, because it comes to quite a good point for a doe foot, and it has a flat side and it's kind of angular, so you can flip it on this side. Here, hopefully I'll be able to demo it. So you can flip it like this to create kind of a line. You can go like this. Just makes it so much fun to use. I feel like I'm so in love with this product. Sooner or later, I'm gonna have all of the colors available in my collection. I don't know if I was able to really put how much I love these into words, but I really hope I did. And the last eye product before moving on to lips are the NYX Professional Vegan False Lashes and the Style Fringe Glam, specifically Fringe Glam. This is my favorite out of these jumbo lashes. These ones look just like lash extensions, and you get to take them off at the end of the day and you can rub your eyes as much as you want. Now, this style is perfection. I have been reaching for these more so than any of my higher end lashes, and actually I haven't been really reaching for lashes in the last couple of years, but these have me reaching for lashes, and that's crazy. The style is awesome. It's very curly, very wispy like, and it really opens up your lashes, as hopefully you'll be able to see it in the demo. I didn't feel like wearing them today because I have kind of a winged out look, and it doesn't flatter winged out looks as much, but hopefully you'll be able to see here on the container. It has one of those clear bands, just like the Ardell Demi Wispies or the Kiss Lashes. So it's very flexible, very comfortable and lightweight once they're on your eyes. And I love how lightweight they are because they never unstick from my eyes. And I use the Duo Green Lash Glue. I find that that one is the best, but those two together, magic. Now let's talk about the lip products I have here. These are the Burt's Bees Gloss and Glows. These are so beautiful. I talk about them any chance I can get. But specifically the shade Wine Wednesday is almost an identical dupe to Black Honey from Clinique that went completely viral last year. And I actually prefer the formula even more. There is a little bit of a difference here, but not by much once it's on your lips. So guess which one is Clinique? This one. This one's Clinique and this one is Burt's Bees. And I actually prefer Burt's Bees because it does have that higher shine lacquered finish, and I love me a glossy lip. These are fantastic. The only shade I wouldn't recommend is Pink Watermelon or something, I believe. It's the pink one. Pink one has zero pigmentation and it's just like a lip balm. These ones have great longevity, especially for being such a hydrating, balmy product. So these are the three shades: Wine Wednesday, Chai Time, and Drink and Be Cherry. I just love the sheen. They feel quite similar to like the Cosmetics lip cushions, just a little bit less pigmented and maybe a little less glossy, but still in that kind of realm. Another great example of a drugstore product I reach more than the original inspiration. And the last product for today's video is this clear gloss. This is the only AF94 product I ended up liking. It's the Give 'em Lip High Shine Lip Gloss. And this is funny because I do not like the About Face glosses at all. I find them to be really sticky and tacky and not shiny enough, but this one is like the shiniest. It's what I've had on my lips this whole video just with a lip liner, and it stays on for so long. This is probably one of the most long wearing glosses. Like, I've been talking for a while now and it hasn't gone away at all. It leaves your lips looking like this for such a long time without falling into your mouth or migrating away from your lips. It's such a comfortable gloss as well. It's not sticky. I would say that this is the better version of the Glossier gloss. It just gives everything I want in a gloss. It fills in my lip lines. It makes my lips look humongous. It brings so much attention to them. It's a wonderful formula. They really killed it with this product. And I do enjoy the packaging on this one just because it looks very similar to the Glossier gloss. I love how clear it is. I always find clear packaging like this to be so satisfying to look at. It always makes me want to drink a ton of water for some reason. And those are all of the products that feel high-end to me. I would love to know if you have drugstore products that feel that way to you. I really want to film a video trying your guys's drugstore favorites, so maybe leave all of them in the comments down below and I'll see if there's any repeats and I'll go on a little shopping spree. But that'd be a fun one, I think. But that's going to be it for me today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give it a like. It would help me out so very much. And I'll make sure to list and link all of the products I mentioned in today's video in the description down below. So feel free to check that out and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys!